Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Bench's Book Reviews. What's in the box today? Okay, sorry, that was a bit awkward. There's a frog on the front, and the book is called Oi Frog, and it's by Kes Gray and Jim Field. Jim Field, I believe, the illustrator. There's a sticker that says, "Hilarious, everyone will love it." And there's a picture of a frog reading a newspaper on a toilet, which is already quite funny. Guardian, so it's the newspaper that it's reading. There we go. Oi Frog. That's quite cool. The I of Oi is written lowercase. And it kind of looks like a Spanish exclamation mark that goes like an upside down one at the start of a sentence. And it kind of mirrors the exclamation mark at the end there. So it's optically quite pleasing. This looks fairly short, so I can probably read the whole thing. Here we go. "Oi, frog, sit on a log," said the cat. There's the cat. "But I don't want to sit on a log," said the frog. They've bolded some of the words. It's on those, so I'm going to probably use them as a guide for which bits to emphasise. "Logs are all knobbly and uncomfortable, and they can give you splinters in your bottom." Oh dear, and there's a picture, and he has actually got two quite large splinters in his bottom. And he's even, his eyes are watering somewhat, so that's quite painful. That's worse than just uncomfortable. "I don't care," said the cat. "You're a frog, so you must sit on a log." I wasn't familiar with that rule, but maybe it's part of this book. "Can't I sit on a mat?" asked the frog. And the cat is sitting on a mat. So that's why the frog got the idea. "Only cats sit on mats," said the cat. It says "welcome" on the mat, but it's not very welcoming. Oh dear. "What about a chair?" said the frog. "I wouldn't mind sitting on a chair." "Hares sit on chairs," said the cat. Now the hare's reading a newspaper, but I'm not sure if that's the Guardian. It says "Hare Today" in big letters. And then it says "I will win," pledges Warren Hare, "at the 54th annual Hare and Tortoise race tomorrow." Oh, that's kind of a joke, because the hare famously loses the tortoise race. Well, at least the famous one. Could be that Warren Hare does win the 54th one. And it says "Hare for Mayor." And there's a free carrot for it. Oh, that's nice. The hare even has big shoes that look like carrots. So that's cool. Well, you see where we're going with this, don't you? Frog, log, cat, mat, hare, chair. There's lots of rhyming. Oh no, he's clambering on the legs or something. "Perhaps I could sit on a stool," said the frog. "Mules sit on stools," said the cat. There's the mule looking just like a displeased fashion at the frog. Not sure the mule's wearing a sombrero, is that a thing? Maybe. Guess they're working in the heat. "What about a sofa?" said the frog. "I could stretch right out on a sofa." And they've stretched the letters out so you know how to read it. Quite like that sort of thing. Really. I mean, obviously, if you want to read it how you want, you still could, but I like the way it gives you some pointers. "Gophers sit on sofas." That's a nice rhyme, said the cat. It's very simple, and there's a whole load of gophers because it's so long. So it's the gophers aren't stretching out there, sharing the sofa, probably watching some sort of television. It's very simple, really. Cats sit on mats, hares sit on chairs, mules sit on stools, gophers sit on sofas, and frogs sit on logs. And there's a kind of blackboard with a cat, kind of like, like a teacher explaining the rules. That's quite cool. It's got a bit of chalk here. Very good illustrations, I must say. Jim Field, great work so far. Oh dear, who's that? "What do lions sit on?" asked the frog. "Lions sit on irons," said the cat. And it doesn't mean it's a flat iron. He's sitting on the point of it. It's very painful. It's going "ow." "Ouch," said the frog. It's on these sympathetic ouches. It's not plugged in though, but lines can remain hot after being unplugged, so That could be particularly painful, not just pointy, but also hot. What do parrots sit on? Parrots sit on carrots, said the cat. Lions sit on irons, and parrots sit on carrots. Don't know if parrots eat frogs. Because this parrot is looking rather chirpy, having spied the frog. Frog may want to get out of there. Doesn't sound very comfortable, said the frog. Parrot seemed alright. It's not about being comfortable, said the cat. It's about doing the right thing. Well, I hope children don't take that message too to heart, children. Should obviously sometimes do the right thing, but they shouldn't always just put up with anything that mean cats tell them. Sorry, hand hurting slightly. What do foxes sit on? Asked the frog. Foxes sit on boxes, said the cat. Foxes sit on boxes, and fleas sit on peas. Well, that's quite nice. They've combined the two pictures here. The foxes sit on this bunch of boxes. Could call them crates, but they're boxes. And one of them says frozen peas on it, and then some of the peas have like come out the box, and the fleas are sitting on them, and the fox is holding a magnifying glass so you can actually see what's going on. So I've kind of combined the two animals and where they're sitting into one story, even though they wouldn't immediately be obviously connected. What do goats sit on? Asked the frog. Goats sit on coats, said the cat. Goats eat coats, by the looks of it. Goats, I mean, there's a thing about goats always eating clothes on the washing line and stuff. So that's a nice use of that. Goats sit on coats, cows sit on ploughs. That's a nice rhyme because the words are written very differently. This is British English, so it's plough written P-L-O-U-G-H, but it still rhymes. That's a cool thing. It's all for the children to learn that things that sound the same don't have to be spelt the same. And stalks, though I think in America plough is spelled P-L-O-W. There's a Simpsons episode where Homer has a jacket that says plough on it, and it's written with a W. And storks sit on forks. Storks, in this case, being the bird there with the hat. And that does not look comfortable, does it? Sitting on the pointy prongs of a pitchfork. Though Storky seems to be grinning. The cow is also playing a banjo, which is nice. I mean, you have these little things here. That's cow number 38, according to her ear tag. I don't know if it's a thing that cows play banjos. This goat is drinking some milk. I don't know if that's some of the cow's milk. I guess goats make milk too. So it need to be. I haven't noticed any obvious grouping on goats and cows. You could say both milk-giving animals, but a stork is kind of a bit different. And I guess a pitchfork and a plough, both kind of farming instruments, but the coat's not necessarily related to farming. So it's all just chucked together however, really. What do gorillas sit on? Asked the frog. Gorillas sit on pillars, said the cat. Gorillas sit on pillars, rats sit on hats, weasels sit on easels, and moles sit on poles. Well, the gorilla does not look too happy at the top of his pillar. Slightly reminiscent of what's his name? David Blaine. Guy stood on top of a big pillar somewhere. This is cool though. The rats are on the hats in a kind of tower, and then the weasel with his easel is painting the rats on the hats. And then the moles are sitting on poles. I guess moles on poles and gorilla on pillar is all kind of and it's quite a similar sort of setup, isn't it? The mole would probably be more comfortable on the pillar, and the gorilla would probably he's very good at balancing to stay up on the pole for too long. What do seals sit on? Asked the frog. Don't you know anything? Said the cat. The cat is still quite disparaging. Seals sit on wheels. Not easy because wheels are notoriously round and roll around. And then he says some more things. Doves sit on gloves, newts sit on flutes, lizards sit on wizards, and apes sit on grapes. Well, there's a lot going on here. We have a wizard with a lizard sitting on him. A couple of three lizards. And the wizard is playing a flute for the newt to sit, and he's wearing a glove for the doves there to sit on. I don't know if there's a turtle doves because there are 3 little hearts here and they seem to be smooching. Oh, and then there's just an ape sitting on a load of grapes. It's a bit like an orangutan, but they've called it an ape here. It's wearing a sailor's hat. It's another nice touch that they just give some of the animals slightly interesting accessories. You don't know if that's a thing. I mean, it could be a Barbary ape from Gibraltar. Gibraltar's famous naval port. Base, whatever you call it. What about puffins? Asked the frog. Puffins? Little muffins, said the cat. No, these are cupcakes, not what we call English breakfast muffins. And there's another cake here. So that's kind of a little thematic connection. Snakes sit on cakes. Oh, and this snake's even having a right part. It's even got a, what do you call that? A party? These things. Can't remember the name for that. I was going to say party pooper, but I believe that's not what it's called. Owls sit on towels. Oh, it's like a beach towel. That's quite a good place to sit. And the owls are eating, and this classic owls thing, clever. And it says owl to wit to woo just about everything. I'm not sure if that's a joke. I guess it probably is a joke I don't get. Gibbons sit on ribbons. Gibbon has managed to turn its ribbon into kind of swing. Lambs sit on jams. So it's on the jars, it's not just in a load of jam. And it's got itself a bit of cake, that's quite cool. And there's a little bit of cake there that the lamb is eating. And then you can see that the frog, there's like been a piece removed here, so I guess that's the corresponding piece. It's in the same design, it's one of these double sponges with a layer of frosting and jam in the middle. Maybe that the lamb provided some jam for the cake, and in return it gets a piece back. It's possible that the owl had a bit of cake as well as a plate with a few crumbs there. Puffins look a bit sad, some of them actually. That guy it's a bit sad. Maybe they're not invited to the party. Oh dear, welling up slightly. It's a very unhappy looking puffin. And this one, and that one. I mean, this guy's really happy. Maybe he actually got some cake. Where's the sorriest looking lot of puffins I've seen in a long time? Let's keep going. Bees sit on keys. There's a key hanging off this puma's tail, and pumas sit on satsumas, which is kind of orange. It only gets one, which is funny. So it's having to balance, whereas if you remember the ape had a whole bunch of grapes. Just sit on, which made it just quite comfortable. What's next? Oh, we've got the cat again. Well, I never knew that, said the frog. Well, you do now, said the cat, and the cat is still sitting on its mat, which is cool. What do dogs sit on? Asked the frog. I was hoping you weren't going to ask that, said the cat. Oh dear, squelch. It doesn't say that, it actually says help, because the dog has sat on the frog, because dog and frog rhymes. That's a very nice ending. They haven't written dogs sit on frogs, but it's implicit. Well, beautiful. Wonderful. A modern day classic. I assume it's modern. Seems quite modern to me. Don't remember it being part of the curriculum when I was a child. I can see when it was first published. 2014. This edition, 2015. But yeah, I mean, excellent concept. All solid rhymes. Nice illustrations with like a very sad bunch of puffins, I must say that, but a slightly unexpected emotion in there. I wasn't really that sorry for the frog, that was just a bit funny. The frog seems to be someone who likes getting into all kinds of scrapes and up to all kinds of japes, so I'm not too worried. I'm sure he will recover in time for the sequel. It says here, don't miss Oi Dog, so maybe the frog will get his own back in that. Yes, hilarious. Everyone will love it. I expect most of you will agree with The Guardian. Yeah, so top notch. Excellent book. Hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you would like me to review the sequel or any other books in the Oi series, then I'm sure I can get a hold of them, or at least one of them. So let me know in the comments. And otherwise, I will see you next time on Mr. Bench's Book Reviews. Bye bye.